Hi everyone, welcome to another Incubus tutorial. Today we're talking Blood on the Ground, and I want to start off by talking about the tuning for this song. So we're in drop D, so from the lowest string we've got a low D, an A, a D, a G, a B, and an E at the end there. So with that said, let's move straight into the intro of this song. Now if you have a phase 90, you're going to want to kick that on, and I've got it set at about 11 o'clock-ish, something like that. And you're just going to have your first finger up on the 5th fret on the G string. I like to use my little finger on the B string at the 7th fret, and then the open E string underneath that. And we're just going to strike through all of the strings all the way down. Now once we've let that ring out for a little bit, I think when I was counting along to the track, it's then after you've let it ring, it's about 3 bars. So counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, before we then take the phase 90 back off, and we have this. And round. So that is playing the exact same shape up at the 5th fret, but this time I'm not striking through all of the strings here. I'm just playing from the open D string down. So the open D, the 5th at the G, the 7th on the B, and the open E string. And I'm using my thumb just to mute the low D and the A string there. Listening back to it, I can't really hear those low strings ringing out. It sounds a lot more percussive, so you can focus on those higher strings by, as I say, muting with your thumb there. So let me play that slowly and we'll go through the strum pattern. So once we play a few notes up on that shape, we immediately come up to the 9th fret, and if you're familiar with drop D tunings, this is just a standard sort of power chord shape that we're playing here. So I'm barring across the lowest string, the D, the A, and the D string there. And then we're going from the 9th, sliding down to the 3rd fret with the same shape there. So, and then at the very end, I'm lifting my finger off and we're just playing the lowest 3 strings, which would be a D5 chord basically. So, and then jumping back up to that 5th fret and again muting those strings quite quickly after that. Then once we've gone around that a few times, we have a bend up, so still on the 5th fret there, and then we have like a bend and release as we're doing that. In one speaker, it's just one guitar that's clean doing that part, but for live, if you're playing this live, I would kick the phase 90 back on there. And then carry back on through that riff as well. So once again, da 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 da. So as you're bending up, and then pull it back down again. So a very gradual bend up and down. Again, still muting with your thumb, and you're mainly focusing on that 5th fret and 7th fret note, those 2 notes really, to bend up and down. You don't really have to worry about the open strings so much in there. I just wanted to jump in here quickly. As I'm editing this video, I realized I didn't tell you how to transition from the intro into the kind of second part of the intro or the chorus. And so after we've done we just end it on those couple of stabs there. And then we kick on distortion, and then we're into the chorus part. So once again. Back to the video. And then from there, we go into kind of the chorus riff, and the song kicks off proper. So the drums come in, we kick on some distortion, and we go to this. Now that is pretty much the exact same thing, of just varying the strum pattern a little bit. So instead of it being very percussive with a lot of deadened notes, like that, we are striking through all the strings again. So I'm moving my thumb out the way, playing through everything. And we're only adding in a few percussive elements to there. So if I play it through slowly, so very, very similar. And then we come up to this slightly different chord, which turns everything back round again, which is I'm using my third finger on the 5th fret of that low D string. My little finger is coming underneath on the A string at the 5th fret, and my first finger is coming back onto the D string at the 3rd fret. And I'm also using the open G here as well, and we're playing. So da 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 da. And then we're coming up to the 3rd fret with that power chord again and playing that through like that. So all together slowly. Every time I'm doing those pauses in there, so I'm lifting my fingers up very slightly just to deaden the notes. So, and using the palm of this hand just to mute those strings ever so slightly as well. Then from there, go back to a cleaner sort of sound, and we've got the verse part, which is quite a tricky picking pattern, and it goes like this. So this verse part, we start on the open D, A and D string, and we're going D, A, D, and then back up to the A string. And all of this is very slightly palm muted as well, so I'm just resting my palm at the bridge. So we go D, A, D, A. I like to alternate pick this, but you could go down, 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 up. I prefer to keep it alternate. I find I know where I am better if I keep it like that. Then from there we go on to the 7th fret, and we have this familiar power chord shape. So we're playing again the D, A and D string, but when we come back up to the A string, we lift our finger off and we play an open A, the open A string, to help us transition down to this chord. So from So that then is, I'm using my 2nd finger on the 5th fret on the low D. My 1st finger is back on the 3rd fret at the A string, and my 3rd finger is tucked under on the 5th fret on the D string. Again, same pattern, D, A, D, A. Then we're removing our 2nd finger and using our 1st finger to bar across the low D and that A string. And again, same pattern. And then the whole thing repeats. So you can see there that having that open A string as you transition to this is kind of a little lifeline to help you get there a bit faster and a bit smoother. Now, after you've played that round a few times, you can hear there's a PH2 part which is set on mode 2. Again, all these settings for pedals and stuff are in the description down below. But when you kick that on, you get... not like that, you don't. So you get that nice rising kind of phasery sound that comes in and out and like kind of mutilates the sound, which is kind of cool. You don't have to do that if you don't have this pedal, but it's kind of nice. Again, if you're playing this live or anything, it makes it sound the part then. It sounds really cool. So that is the verse part. And then when we come out of that, or towards the end when you're using that PH2 part, or even if you're not using it, on the record, it sounds like he's releasing his palm mute more and picking more aggressively, so the sound gets a bit more distorted. So you can really start to dig in on those bits to build it up to that like pre-chorus part, which is kicking on distortion, and we slide up to the 9th fret. Again, it's that familiar power chord shape again, barring across those 3 strings. Slide up to the 9, down to the 5th fret, and then finish on the 3rd fret. And we're strumming. Da 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 da. So we've got some kind of rests and things when we get to that 3rd fret. And that leads us back into the chorus riff, which is the same as that second part of the intro, basically. So you're... all of that. That all repeats round. Then we're back into another verse, and that is all the same. But when we come out of the second verse, that pre-chorus part that we've just done repeats twice, and that strum at the end on the 3rd fret is ever so slightly different before you get that ba-da-ba-da-ba-da from Jose. So it goes... and finishes on the da-da, ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da, and then we're back into chorus again. That all goes round the same. When we come out of that second chorus, we've got this kind of breakdown part, which is exactly the same as the chorus. You're just not playing the 5th and the 7th fret anymore. You're just playing the open strings. So it's like this. And then we finish on the 3rd fret to go into the bridge. So pretty much the same strum pattern. We're probably just adding in a few more deadened notes. So I'm just using a combination of my finger and my palm on this side just to deaden the strings to get more of that kind of percussive nature of it. Da, 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 da. And we're still lifting off and playing those open strings to come back to that riff again. After that, we've got the bridge. So after you finish on at the 3rd fret, we come up to that same shape that we had as the last chord in the chorus. So 3rd finger on the 5th fret on the low D, little finger just under that on the A string, and then 1st finger on the 3rd fret of the D string. And we're playing, so we're going low D, A string, D, back to the A, and then open G. So to make that transition a bit easier, it sounds like when I slowed the track down, so he's going, then play the low D again, and the regular D string, and then lift your 1st finger off and play that D string open twice. And then we come up to this shape, which is I'm using my 2nd finger on the 9th fret on the low D. My 1st finger is back at the 8th fret on the A string, and then we're using the open D and the open G string as well. Again, same strum pattern, so D, A, open G. And then we have this little bend. So it's our intro / chorus chord again, but I'm only focusing on those 2 notes at the 5th and the 7th again. So 5th on the G, 7th on the B. And we, again, kick on R, if I can reach it, phase 90. And we bend up and we release it back down again. And then we just run our pick through from the open D, the G, the B, and the open E string. Let the phase 90 pulse around a bit. And then to help us transition back to that chord again, keep the phase 90 on and you just strum it a couple of times. Then you can quickly turn the phase 90 off to play that part again. Make sure you actually strike through those strings properly, unlike I did just then. You want to hear each one kind of clearly ring out. And then once you've gone around that a few times, when you go back to so when you come back up to this chord, you kind of hang on to it, and then before it then goes back into the final chorus. So all again. And then we play another chorus, and then we end on our open strings again. And then we have one final bend up, and then strike through all the strings. Again, I would do that with the phase 90 on, so. And then while that's pulsing away, it ends with. Some string scrapes right at the end, so muting the strings and just drag your pick from your pickups kind of down your neck really, and that is you done. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. It's quite a straightforward song when you get the hang of it, and if you like this one, check out the tutorial that's on screen now, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.